So like I was saying, welcome everybody. This is a complimentary program of the ASBTDC. We're going to be talking today about outsourcing your business's financing and accounting functions. My name is Scott Lacy. I've been with the ASBTDC for 3 years. I primarily focus on teaching small business financial management and doing small business financial consulting for local small businesses. Really enjoy what I do. I'm a former small business owner myself. My wife and I used to sell spa products. We used to outsource those to companies in spas that needed to use those products. We had retail in the wholesale side, so we sold direct to consumer as well as the wholesale. But then, of course, our industry was probably one of the most hardest hit by the pandemic because those spa places all had to shut down for quite a while. So things were looking kind of dire, and so I got a phone call to be able to come to the ASBTDC to help distribute pandemic funds, and so that's like how I got my start here, and I'm still here. It'll officially be 3 years next month, and I just really couldn't be happier. I really love what I do. I love being able to help new businesses, small business owners. I've also got a corporate finance background, so a lot of small business finance experience. So thank you guys for being here. And like I said, this is going to be a short one today, but if you have questions that you want to ask at the end, put them in that Q&A box, and I will have plenty of time to get to them all. Thank you all for being here. So first, what is outsourcing? Outsourcing is just a term that we use in business to mean there's a function within the business that we want to pay somebody who is outside of the business to do it. So finance and accounting, a lot of people don't want to take the time or don't have the time or don't have the interest to do their own finance and accounting. And so what do? They go outside of the company and they hire another company to fulfill those functions for them. And that's really all that outsourcing means. You can also outsource things like manufacturing. That's why we have a lot of manufacturing done in China and Mexico today, because a lot of companies that sell products, they just want to be in the business of branding and developing and selling. They don't want to be in the business of manufacturing. So they will brand or develop, and then they will pay somebody else, outside of their company to do the actual manufacturing and to create that product. And so outsourcing just means that there's a function of your business that has to be done for you to be in business, but you may not want to take care of that business function within the four walls of your business. And so you outsource it to another company outside of your business. And today we're going to talk about business outsourcing in the context of outsourcing your accounting and finance functions. So should you outsource your financing accounting functions? It's the biggest question that we always get. So usually the way that I answer this question is, right now, are you really busy? Are you in high growth mode? Or are you bored with it? Has it been done in the last 3 months? Have you kept up with it? Or are you one of those people who says, I'm just not a numbers person? And if you fit in any one of those categories, then it's a pretty easy decision. I would say absolutely yes. It's time to go ahead and start trying to outsource your accounting and finance functions. By far, the majority of the entrepreneurs that we work with, they have a great skill, whether it's cooking food or welding or ordering wine, or making coffee, or what are some of their cleaning services, or commercial real estate, or doctors or dentists. All of those are wonderful skills that all of those entrepreneurs in those areas love to focus their time and energy on. And then typically what we almost always see is that when they start to get into the bookkeeping and the day-to-day, the numbers, the financial forecasting, they just, kind of, looks like a battery sort of running out of life really, really quickly. They very quickly get de-energized. And so we almost always encourage people to go ahead and start doing doing that outsourcing of the accounting and finance functions. Like I said a minute ago, if it's something that you've not been able to keep up with the last 3 months, and I'm in that camp, even when I was running my own business, even though I'm a finance and accounting guy, it was really easy for me to get behind because I had so many other things to do and so many fires to put out. And so I pretty quickly outsourced all of our accounting functions to somebody else, but I kept all the finance functions myself because that's what I do for a living. That's what I'm good at. So if it's not been kept up with, if it's not something that you like, if you really just don't enjoy it, or if you say that you're one of those people who's just not a numbers person, or if you're in high growth mode and you're really busy already and you've got other things you need to be doing in your business in order to make it grow or to expand or to take care of sales and that kind of thing, then that's the other case, which I would recommend strongly to go ahead and outsource both these functions. Now, it doesn't completely mean that you just outsource them and you never think about them again. the people that you hire, the people that you outsource to, you'll still have, bi-weekly meetings with them to talk through these things. Sometimes just monthly, but usually bi-weekly. So should I? Did I pull up the right? You know what, y'all? I'm so sorry. Give me just a second. I pulled up the wrong PowerPoint. 1 second. I am getting right. I've got the right one up now. I'm just going to share my screen. I clicked on the wrong PowerPoint presentation. There we go. Much better. I was wondering why things it's kind of funny. Great. Okay, you guys can see that now. Sorry about that. All right. There we go. Are you overwhelmed? See, much better presentation. Are you overwhelmed? Are you bored? Are you not a numbers person? Then you should probably outsource your accounting. What is outsourcing? This is a wonderful, much better visual presentation of what that actually looks like. Sorry about that, guys. But this is what it means. So you got the core business there in the middle, and the arrows pointing out to all of the other areas of the company that you can outsource to. So some things that you can outsource are things like digital marketing, customer support, payroll, entry data, all those kinds of things, including accounting. All right, so what first, if you are going to outsource these things, let's quickly go over what they actually are. So the first one is, what are accounting and bookkeeping? They are the history books of your business. The people that do the bookkeeping and the accounting, they are the scribes of your business. It is their job to accurately record the history of your business. And they do that by recording all of the financial transactions of the business that then get reported and published into the financial report book. Those are known, and those statements, and that book is known as the financial statements. That's the income statement, balance sheet, and statement of cash flow. You don't have to know that. I'm just kind of introducing it to you, but just know that that's the bookkeepers and the accountants that you're outsourcing to. Their job is to keep the history books of the business. Compared to finance, whereas accounting is history and looking in the rearview mirror, finance is future looking, forward looking, and forward planning. It's looking through the front windshield of your car. So looking through the front windshield of your car is the finance function. Looking at that rearview mirror up there at the top would be considered all the finance. So accounting is the past and finance is the future. And we've got to have both of those to have successful business. Okay. So if I'm going to outsource these things, what all exactly am I outsourcing? So what I did to illustrate this for you guys, I pulled up a chart. It's going to show you all the different accounting and finance jobs that typically take place within a company. So now this would be a very large company, but in every company, all of these functions are happening on some level. As a new owner operator, you're probably already doing all of these just yourself. Then as you grow, you'll be able to hire into each one of these key roles. And so in a mature company at the top, you've got the chief financial officer. And the chief financial officer typically has 2, sometimes 3 direct reports. The controller is just another name for chief accountant. That's the way that you can think about a controller. When you hear that word, it gets confusing for people sometimes. So just think that's my head accountant. So if you outsource your accounting and your bookkeeping to somebody, the person that you outsource that to, you would basically just call them your head accountant or your lead accountant. Just call them your CPA or your accountant. A lot of people might also refer to them as a controller. So that's the past. Looking on the future side of things, on the finance side of the house, you've got what's called FP&A, also known as financial planning and analysis. That FP&A, financial planning and analysis. So what do they do? So if the controller is the history, what is the future? Future is things like cash flow forecasting, budget, deciding what projects to go after and which projects not to go after. It's deciding whether or not to keep to have a revenue stream open or to keep it open or to shut it down. It's a lot of forward-looking things. It's, if we want to expand, how much money that's going to cost and where we're going to get that money from. Are we going to need to get a loan? Are we going to take on investors? Do we have enough profit, from our current operations to be able to fund those opportunities? Can I hire this person? Can I hire 5 people? Can I build a new facility? Can I buy that piece of machinery? All these questions that business owners typically. The analysis in order to make those decisions, the financial analysis needed to make those decisions, is done by the finance person. Sometimes we call it the FP&A person, and here in a minute, I'm going to introduce you to a new concept called a fractional CFO that's doing a lot of that nowadays for small business. So under the controller, you've got accounting and tax, which we split accounting and tax into two different responsibilities. Accounting, you can just think as actual bookkeeping, and tax, you can think about as people that know the tax code super well, who can help your company minimize its tax payments every year. And the future side of the house, you've got just basically all FP&A stuff, and sometimes we also have in there a position called the treasurer, which is really responsible just for managing the day-to-day cash of the business to make sure the business has enough cash to pay its obligations and to invest in what it wants to invest in. All right, so here's just another chart for you that it's a little bit more simplified that I made. So you got the CEO at the top, the CFO reports directly to the CEO. And then in the accounting side of the house, you've got the controller, the accountants, the bookkeepers, and then under the bookkeepers, you've got what's called payables and receivables clerks. And then you've also on the right side, kind of in the present and the forward looking, you've got the treasurer, treasury manager, treasury analyst, and then future looking, you've got financial planning and analysis, FP&A manager, FP&A analyst. And so within your business at some point in time, you're going to be doing all of this stuff. You know, in a small company, you might spend, 15 minutes in your head, thinking about one of these things, and that could kind of be it. But as you grow, all of these roles and all of these functions will need to be, somebody in your company will need to be responsible for. So if you're in high growth mode, if you don't enjoy the number side of things, or if you're just not good at the number side of things, or you don't understand it, or if it's overwhelming, or you've just not been able to keep up with it, it's a really great idea to start thinking about outsourcing some of these roles. So if you do want to outsource, and that's the right thing for you to do, where do you even begin? And so the first thing that I would do as a business owner, if I was you, would be if I was going to outsource something, the first thing I would do would be hire a good bookkeeper, and probably also simultaneously give me a call here at the ASBTDC. So you get that bookkeeper. The bookkeeper is going to help you get everything in order in the beginning and make sure you've got everything reported. We see that go wrong when people don't hire a bookkeeper. We see their business finances go wrong pretty quickly. So I would say that's where you want to start. Call me at the ASBTDC as well, and we're going to get your business finances set up in the beginning, so that you can start reporting the history of your business well, so that you can start seeing how you're performing, so you can make decisions. After you get the bookkeeper, you want to go hire that accountant, and they're going to be able to further refine your accounting systems to be able to provide you even better data. And they're also going to be able to help you with some tax. The next that I would hire as you grow, this is typically, to be able to hire a fractional CFO. Usually you're looking about the $500,000 in sales per year mark before this starts to make sense. And then up to about 15 million in sales is sort of the cutoff for when you may want to start looking at hiring a full-time CFO. So if you're doing $500,000 in sales, you don't feel like you have a really good handle on your numbers, and like you want to, get everything nice and clean and organized and start, doing some future planning and some future analysis, or if you're kind of in a cash crunch and wonder what's going on, these are the 4 things that I would go out and hire pretty much right off the bat. And then once you get everything kind of in place, you got bookkeeping being done on a regular basis, talking with me on a regular basis, you got the accountant doing your books, fractional CFO, then that's maybe when you would want to bring on like your first full-time hire on the finance and accounting side of things. And that's number 5, which is the controller, which is your head accountant. That's the person that you're going to hire full-time to be in your business, and they're going to take over your bookkeeping function and your accounting function. They're going to handle your payroll, they're going to handle your bookkeeping, they're going to handle your financial reporting. What they're probably not going to handle is your taxes. That might be a little bit extra because that's a specialty in its own. But if you were going to start hiring, this is where I would start and how I would do that. So what do you want to look for in an accountant? So the first thing that you want to look for is somebody who has previous experience in your industry, if at all possible. The second thing is you want to listen for things like, what do they expect from you on a monthly basis? Because they can't do their job unless you provide them information. So they should have a very clear sort of standard operating procedure for how you provide them the information that they need on a regular basis in order to be able to provide you the information that they're supposed to be able to provide for you. They should provide you with an engagement letter with really clear expectations about when they need things from you in order to be able to deliver things to you, and when they're going to deliver those things to you. Ideally, accountants are going to update your book. Accountants and bookkeepers are going to update your books on a weekly basis, and they're going to do monthly reconciliations monthly, and they're going to have your financial reports ready for you by about the 5th to the 10th of the month. Anything after the 10th of the month starts to kind of get stale, and they know that they need to get it to you before that. They're usually going to charge you a little bit more to get it to you before the 15th of the month. But they know that the people that want it before the 15th of the month are the really serious business operators who know that they need it, and so it's it's fine for them to charge that little bit of extra. But that's what you really want, is somebody who's willing to deliver those and able to deliver those to you before the 10th of the month, preferably around the 5th or the 8th of the month. And then once you hire them, go through a 2 or 3 month trial with them and put that into the contract if you want. And if they're not keeping their end of the bargain, then you need to be able to pull out of that contract and maybe get some or all of your money back. Recently, we've had some accountants who took on some new clients who said they could, and then I went in to look at their books 3 months later, and very little had been done. And in about half of those cases, it was the accountants being overwhelmed because it was tax season, and the other half, it was the business owners not getting the accountants the information that they needed to be able to keep the books properly. What's an accountant going to cost you right now? For a small, genuinely like small business, that's doing 0 to let's call it $100,000 in sales per year. It's anywhere from $200 to $400 a month. And once you get over that 100K a year mark, maybe up to that $1 million mark or so, you're going to pay somewhere between $300 and $800 a month, depending on the complexity of your business. If you're a really simple business, it won't be that much. If you're complex manufacturing, it'll be a little bit more. But that's basically just for the weekly bookkeeping and transaction specification for your company. Other add-on services that you can add to that are going to be things like payroll, tax planning, and then also filing your taxes every year. So payroll, tax planning, filing your taxes, those are the big 3, other than just straight bookkeeping. Sometimes they'll do cleanup as well. All right, so how do you want to work with your accountant? We hit on this a little bit already. Turn in your receipts every single week and link your bank accounts to QuickBooks, and use QuickBooks online if at all possible. We're seeing a lot of accountants no longer willing to work with people that don't use QuickBooks online because QuickBooks Desktop is just too slow. And because it's slow sometimes, or if it's slow because you've got a lot of data, and when they log in remotely, if it's slow, then they're going to just have to charge you a lot more money. It's not really worth your time. It's not really worth your time. So if at all possible, try to get migrated over to a cloud based accounting solution. Send them what you need weekly and expect what you need from them no later than the 5th to the 8th of the month. Okay, and then you're going to meet with them probably once a month at least, if not weekly to bi-weekly. All right, fractional CFO and cost. Fractional CFO, what they are is a CFO that is going to take all of the information that the accountant gives you, and they're going to analyze it, and they're going to help you understand your business performance, how you're currently performing, and they're going to give you what we call KPIs, or key performance indicators, to help you know how your business is doing. And so I liken this to 2 different examples. So one example I give is just a scoreboard: a baseball scoreboard, football scoreboard, basketball scoreboard, whatever scoreboard you want to look at. When you get your financial statements from your accountant every month, that's your scoreboard. Okay. And sometimes, just like, a lot of us who don't understand sports like cricket, when we look at the scoreboard in cricket, we really don't really know what we're looking at. And so it's very common with most small business owners because they've never taken a business class. They don't know what they're looking at. So what that fractional CFO is going to be able to provide for you is an interpretation of those financial statements to be able to show you, what's good, what's bad, what needs to be leaned into, what needs to be leaned away from, what changes can you make, just how well are you performing. And then the other thing they're going to be able to provide for you is what we call cash flow forecast, which is super critical in business because most businesses make a lot of business because they run out of cash. They're going to help you forecast those cash flows, and then they're going to help you know where that money's coming from and where you can pull money from in order to fund the future of your business. Because there's three different places that funds can come from to fund your business. One is profit, one is investment, and one is debt. And they're going to be able to help you figure those things out. So they're forward-looking, and they're also analysts. And if you're, usually, like I said, it makes sense to start hiring one about $500,000 in sales or more. And they're going to cost you anywhere from $2,000 to up to $7,000 a month, depending on your business size and business complexity. And they'll usually meet with you a couple times a month. Plus, they're going to create from scratch a lot of really great tools that's going to help you run your business. They're going to create the scoreboard that you can go look at every day to see how well your business is doing. And I promised you 2 examples. So scoreboard is one example. Patient medical chart is the other example. Doctors walk in, what's the first thing they look at? They look at the medical chart of the patient, tells you how well the patient's doing, and then they make a prescription based on that information and based on it. So I liken the fractional CFO to a doctor looking at the chart or somebody looking at the scoreboard. It costs between 2 and 10. How to work with your fractional CFO. Let them know your hopes and dreams. That's the first thing, because their primary job is to help you accomplish the goals of your business. That's really what they do. So it's also what I do here. I'm just not able to do all of it for you, even though I can coach you and do some of it for you. I can't do all of it for you, but they're primarily the person that's going to help you get to where you want to go once you identify that's their job. So you're going to meet with them probably every couple of weeks or so. Again, just to review, this is all of the functions of the business that would be outsourcing potentially. Just things you need to be thinking about. So the question becomes, how do you find these people? So if you want, I can send you some referrals. I know some really great accountants. I know a couple of really great fractional CFOs that I can refer you to. I'm more than happy to do that. I can even take that first meeting with you if you want me to, just to through it, or I can prepare you for the first meeting, which would probably be something better. So if you want to talk to the accountant, if you want to talk to the fractional CFO, you don't really know what to say, you don't really know how to communicate what it is that you want, or you don't even need what you want, set up a meeting with me. I can walk you through everything and help you get set up with somebody who fits your business size. Can get going with you pretty quickly. We've got some folks locally here that can do that. So yeah, like I said, if this just isn't something you enjoy, or you're in high growth mode, or if you're in a cash pinch, then it's probably time to go ahead and start hiring or looking at hiring some of these people. Give me a call. I'd love to be able to help you and walk you through all of that. So with that, if you guys have questions, you can just click that Q&A box down there at the bottom of your screen, or wherever you've got the Zoom bar, and type in your questions, and I will be here as long as I need to be, up until about 1 o'clock or so. So 12:27, that's great. I got it knocked out under 30 minutes, which is what I wanted to do. And while we're waiting on questions to come in, here's our contact information. Most of you already have this just from signing up with us. And if you don't, there it is. There's our office phone number and our website. If you want to get in touch with me, my email is back at the beginning. Is sl072@uark.edu. I would love to chat with you. Questions to come through? Any questions about hiring an accountant or hiring a fractional CFO? General business processes, any finance related, accounting related business questions you've got, I'd be happy to answer. I'm just looking over here at the chat box is what I'm turning my head to look at. I always encourage people to outsource as they can. And basically the thought behind that is that, the reason you started a business is because you're really good at something to the point where people are willing to pay you for it. And so your greatest, 99 times out of 100, your greatest return on investment of your time is going to spend doing that thing or selling that. It just kind of holds true throughout all business. And the time that you're going to spend doing your own accounting and doing your own bookkeeping is going to be 2 or 3 times, what it would take a professional to do. And your time, if you put a value on your time, the cost per hour for you as the owner operator is enormous. And you're not getting a lot of bang for you're not getting any money back for that work that you're doing. So it's usually just better to go ahead and outsource that. So I always encourage people to do that. Okay, well, like I said, my email is sl072@uark.edu. I'd love to talk to any of you guys anytime. Just shoot me an email. We'll get together. And if finance or accounting is an issue in your business, we'll get that cleaned up, set up, ready to go, so that you can get the information you need to have in order to make some really great decisions about the future of your business. Thank you all for being here. The slides, by the way, we will not be sending the slides, but the video will be uploaded to our YouTube page. Yeah, the video will be uploaded to our YouTube page, so you'll have access to it there. But we don't send out the slides. All right. Thank you guys so much for being wonderful clients. Good luck on your business and enjoy the rest of your lunch break, and we will see y'all again.